Hello, I'm Merx11, and I'm here giving you the first Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai online battle for my channel. And here we have my forces under command of me, Ninja 10, and we have the enemy forces under the command of Wafflethebard. And you notice our generals' names. Some very interesting names there. El Pancho Grande Jr. for Wafflethebard, and for my general, if I can find him, El Pancho Grande Senior. And I have several units of saber cavalry in my army. Units of Kyoto police, 2 units. A few units of Kyoto police, more like 4, 5, 6 units of Kyoto police. Some Vermilion Bird Force. And yeah, just Vermilion Bird Force and Kyoto Police. And my units versus Waffles, the Bard, who is bringing the Border Patrol Parrot Guns, White Bear, and I believe he also has Black Bear Infantry. Those are veterans, and tons of the Taco Warriors, the Katanakachi. A whole bunch of Katanakachi. He doesn't have the cavalry, I do. So, without further ado, I'll play this. And we have initial moves. I can both sides advance forward. I move my cavalry to the opposite flank. He moves forward his people. I'm gonna fast forward it till we make contact. And oh god, that drops the frame rate like no other. And my troops make it to the ridge before he does. And as my troops are pretty much reaching the ridge, I am keeping in trying to keep this 2-line formation. You can tell my cavalry is basically running around. His troops haven't quite made it there. We have the low libres, the honchos, infantry de marine. These are French Marines. You can tell they're bolt-action rifles. They have some experienced chevrons. My troops make it to the ridge. We have Kyoto Police. Plenty of units of Kyoto Police. It's going to be an interesting battle in the forest. And the first shots are being fired by his troops. First returning volleys on his troops. Some black bears being killed. Black bears continue to have some degree of fighting. His infantry to marine there. And right away you can see my cavalry charge on this flank, hitting the libres. But as some cavalry pour past here and head towards his border patrol.
An ambush,
more
General!
fighting.
An ambush!
There's apparently an ambush also going down.
Your general is under attack!
Yeah, there's plenty of fighting going down right now. Honestly, this is going to be interesting. There's volleys being exchanged from and forth, and I order a melee charge in the center. As you can see, there's still fighting going on this flank. Fighting on this flank is a melee charge. I pretty much rush forward with melee units with my cavalry and heavy. If he rushes in Katanakachi, it's not looking good for my cav. My cav's sole charge there was to take out his parrot guns.
Your men are routing, sir!
So my units begin to rout. He's rushing up forwards of Katanakachi. And we have black bears still fighting there. I don't know why I somehow forget those units. We have stray bullets going down the hill, every which direction. At this point, we begin to rout some of his elite units. With this, we're pretty much sealing the fate of this flank. The center, there's still pretty heavy fighting for. This flank's undecided. It's looking like it's going towards him. pretty heavily. The melee skirmish that's going down in here. Just give you some of the melee skirmish. That's the blood pack. It is glorious. You can see just epic fighting going on there. We have the Saber Cav and the Infantry Marine routing and the Honchos. Pretty much it's sealed the fate of him. He's got this melee blob up through there. There's just
Engage the enemy!
and those troops are awkwardly standing there. Close range shots. Oh! Had to get some close range shots of that combat. Just cutting off. Here we have the horde of Kyoto police charging up there with cavalry.
Good news, sir! The enemy general is dead!
El Pancho Grande Jr. has died. Get more shots of this melee skirmish in progress. Fighting going on every which direction. Pretty much the left's being sealed up. We'll fast forward through the melee. It's pretty much brutal melee. His units rout. At this point, the battle's pretty much, the fate of the battle's pretty much over.
Sir, the men are exhausted!
My units are becoming exhausted. His Black Bears are still fighting. They're still fighting going down here. Exchanges of musket fighting with my Vermilion Bird Force versus his Black Bear Infantry. I guess he was more pro-Imperial and I was more pro-Shogunate. I won, pretty much.
Your men are routing, sir!
What I think on this is I collapsed both of his flank. I collapsed one of his flanks and then rolled up the center. And his flank's basically being mopped up.
Your victory is close, sir!
Now it's just a last desperate melee. And it's routed, and the battle's over. As you can see, the map's just littered with bodies. It's basically Hamburger Hill, all over one ridge. And it was a close victory. The enemy is broken. Death and dishonor are theirs today, but only by a single sword stroke. And this is the Max 11 signing off. Here you can see the statistics. One last thing to add in. I lost 915. He lost 1,800 in that battle. He deployed more than me. He killed less of me, and that's the statistics. And now Max 11 signing off.